Hi, I hope everyone's having a fabulous day today. In this reading, I'm going to be looking into the question, what are their hidden desires and true feelings towards you at this time? There are three groups to choose from. Group one is this crystal. Group two is this crystal. And group three is this crystal. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to, I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead. And up next is a close-up photo of the crystals to help you better make your selection. Hi, group one. You chose this crystal. So let's see, the person on your mind, what are their true feelings and hidden desires towards you right now? Okay, so the first one we have is Aphrodite's and Aries, lovers. I follow my heart. So this is the energy of plunging into this connection, diving in deep with you, cutting back all of the layers of fear and hesitation and doubt that have kept them almost intellectualizing this connection. And this is somebody who's ready to follow their heart. There's a sense of certainty that somebody like you only comes around once in a lifetime, or even more remotely than that for some. There's a sense that like their soul recognizes, I have crossed oceans of time to find you. I have waited lifetimes to find you. The circumstances might not be perfect, but the time is now. And so it feels like this is somebody who wants to remove all obstacles and barriers between the two of you to indulge fully in all of the possibilities in this situation. This is not just somebody looking for a one-night stand. This is somebody that is looking to be your long-term love, your forever love. And we also have Goddess Minerva, intelligence. I harness my full potential. So they sense a lot of raw potential, untapped potential here, unspoken words that are brimming right beneath the surface that they are longing to express to you. There's a sense of they've been thinking about things, mapping out a plan of action, strategizing, maybe moving different pieces in their life around behind the scenes in order to create a way forward for the two of you. This is somebody who recognizes that you are worth fighting for. You're worth fighting through any doubts that are keeping them at a distance. You're worth fighting through any obstacles, stepping over the opinions of people who might not understand the nature of your connection, who could disapprove of your connection. It's a sense of those people don't matter. Their opinions don't matter. I know what I want. The heart knows what it wants, and it wants you. We also have Underwater Temple, growth. I consciously change and evolve. So it feels like you have awakened something within this person emotionally. I'm hearing I've never felt a love like this before. And it may be something that they had kind of been struggling to reconcile if there were circumstances between the two of you that presented as challenges. This could be third-party situations that they are dissolving or moving beyond or have moved beyond currently. This could also be a fear of opening up and being vulnerable, a fear of being hurt in love. This could be somebody who is used to people not seeing them as like an emotional being or like a person with feelings and needs, but kind of objectifying them, using them for money, using them for status, using them for validation, where this could be somebody who is used to kind of being an overgiver in circumstances. And there's a sense of, with you, it's stirred up fears of kind of like, is this just the pattern in my life? Am I just doomed to repeat the same cycles? And a sense of like, you could be different than everyone they've encountered emotionally before. You could be somebody that actually sees and recognizes them as a person, that believes in true reciprocity, or would pour into them in a way that they feel celebrated, they feel seen, they feel appreciated in a manner that has not happened in their previous love relationships. So it's a sense of almost like renewing hope within this person, or bringing forth the essence of like, maybe I can be lucky in love in this lifetime. Maybe my history in romance, any kind of heartbreak, or anything where the world had been turned upside down, it's like that doesn't need to just be the narrative for them, that there's a possibility to walk a very different road with you, or to continue to kind of move in that direction, or opening up their heart fully allows them to receive a different kind of love, because you're a very different kind of person than they've ever encountered before. We also have courage. So it feels like this is somebody who's working up the courage to confess their love, confess their feelings, maybe ask you to move in with them, make the connection official between the two of you, or, kind of take it to a more permanent place. This could be somebody who's getting ready to propose to you, getting ready to let you know that you are the light of their life, you are the love of their life. You make them feel like the best version of themselves without even trying. And there's a sense of they see and recognize you as like their other half, their counterpart. You're stronger together than apart. And there's a sense of, let's maximize the potential here. Let's not let this opportunity go to waste. Let's do what we both need to do in order to step forth into the possibility of something more, something greater developing in this circumstance, because they almost see you as like the other part of the equation of who they are. Together you could be a power couple, or they feel very empowered in your presence, or in the idea of like long-term stability, longevity that they want to develop with you. We also have honor Gaia. So this person feels that they are very respected as they are, like even on their worst days, even with any kind of wounding that they have. You've been very compassionate, very understanding. It's almost like you seem to move in accordance with this person, even at times where they struggle to kind of express their feelings or know what it is that they're feeling. You almost like sense into them energetically, and there's a sense that there's already a dance which is taking place between the two of you, which makes them feel very comforted, very encouraged to step outside of their comfort zone. There's a desire to bring all of this kind of hidden potential, all of these unspoken feelings into a place of material reality, to ground this connection into reality, so that you can get to the business of loving one another openly and in a more profound way than you already have, or than they've already kind of allowed to happen up to this point in time, because there's a sense of, I don't need to search anywhere else. You're the person that I've been looking for. You have come into my life, or love has found me maybe at a moment that I wasn't looking for it, didn't feel I was ready, or there were other kind of like challenges in the way that they have already needed to kind of move certain things out of their reality. They've needed to excavate themselves from a place of just sort of watching, pining for you, kind of yearning at a distance. And this is a desire to take steps in the material world forth, to give it their all, to give it everything that they've got and then some, in order to be able to explore more openly this potential and to experience something deep and true with you in the here and now. There's a sense of like, I don't want to wait for another lifetime. I don't want to risk it or run, give it up to chance that maybe it'll be 1,000 years before we encounter one another again. Maybe never. Maybe this is like once in a forever opportunity, is kind of the importance, almost like a degree of pressure they're putting upon themselves at this point, to do something that changes the fabric of reality between the two of you in a very permanent way. It's almost like words that they want to speak forth to you, or efforts that they want to make, that there's no going back from that. There's like no putting the genie back in the bottle. There's no unsaying what they have to say, or unseeing what they have to kind of like show to you, or demonstrate to you. And so it's taking a lot of bravery on their part, but it's almost like you feel like they're home. You feel like they're safe place. You feel like the way that love should feel, and there's a sense of like, I'm a fool if I let this opportunity pass by. And so it's somebody, it feels like that's working up the courage to create something stable and realistic with you, or even, you know, kind of take that first step into the unknown, expressing feelings they've had bottled up inside, in order to be able to you kind of take things at an extraordinary pace. It feels like they don't want to move slowly after whatever sort of they next do or the next say in this situation, because it's like, I've thought about things enough, I've sat on the sidelines long enough, I want to get this connection going, I want to bring this into something that is tangible, that is realistic, and that we can both experience and create that wish fulfillment and that deep satisfaction with one another in the here and now. You also say time to ground. Yeah, so there's a sense of they've thought about this, they've looked at it from every angle, they've, you know, taken the bird's eye perspective. They might have gotten advice from friends and family about kind of like what to do in this circumstance. They could have somebody they've confided in who has also sort of looked in on this situation in some way, and everything is giving them the encouragement to go for it, to risk it. For some people, it's like risk everything, risk their pride and ego, or shifting the way in which they've been living their life up to this point in time, if there are adjustments that are necessary in order to accommodate this love, or, you know, to really make this love or this love story that can develop a priority, or it may have been something that's just been hidden inside, or they've been kind of casual with you. It's a sense of like, I want to make myself a more permanent part of your reality. I want to invite you into my life. I want to make a life with you. We also have the love of your dragon reaches out to you. The realm of your truth is opening up. Yeah, so again, this is some deep truth, some confessions that they have. It's almost like an ancient love story that the two of you at a soul level have been writing together for eons. And there's a sense of like, we are here now in this place of recognition and awareness. I'm very aware of who you are to me. On a logical level, I know how I feel. My soul knows things that are unexplainable to me, undecipherable to me with my human mind, but I cannot hold back any longer. I cannot, let this opportunity slip by. It feels right to be with you on all levels. The idea of the future that you can create, it almost feels like destiny, that you've encountered one another, that the forces of fate and the universe have been so benevolent to allow this opportunity for the two of you, that this is, again, not just somebody that wants to partake in like a fling with you. They don't just want something temporary. It's almost like you're the one, you're their person, you're their dream come true, you're their wish fulfillment. You're somebody that they never thought they could find in this life. And so some of them may have settled into another connection at some point in time that left them worse for wear. Maybe they were in another situation when you encountered one another at first, or they could have still been just sort of like dealing with the wounding of that, kind of clutching to those wounds and very fearful to open their heart to love again. But it's almost like you've awakened them to this potential and to this reality of like second chances, the opportunity to really seize the moment and step towards one's destiny, which it feels like they had been hesitant about before. But now there's a sense of like, everything points to this. I'm a fool if I don't do something about this. We also have live in this world as a dreamer, create a future paradise. Yeah, so there's a sense that you are this person's dream come true. You're their wish fulfillment. They may have dreamed of you, had a vision of you as like a younger person or at some previous stage of their reality. And then it's like you were a walking dream. You walked right out of that dream realm into their reality that might have left them almost stunned. It could have even catalyzed some kind of spiritual awakening, some kind of deep introspection where they've never been able to look at the world in the same way since having crossed paths with you. They could have been fighting that for a while, kind of trying to remain in sort of more of their mundane or kind of less attuned reality to no avail. This is somebody who has surrendered to kind of the mystical aspects of this connection, somebody that sees you as like their saving grace, their muse in some sort of way. You've saved them from, kind of this quiet misery inside of just sort of settling into their life, going through the motions of their reality, and time passes and yet nothing changes. There's a sense of renewal that they feel with you, a sense of like adventure. that they can kind of reclaim their destiny, or that moving forth with you in some way helps them to become more empowered as an individual, to not just passing the time, but truly living their life to its fullest. And they also say you are experiencing a spiritual blossoming. Take a new direction and be open to new experiences. Yeah, so there's that confirmation that you've definitely opened this person's heart chakra. You triggered an awakening within this person. They're very aware that deep wish fulfillment, a love that is unlike anything they have ever known before, exists in the experience between the two of you, and deepening that in some way, inviting that in closer to their reality, or doing things in order to kind of bridge any distance, any gap between the two of you, clear up any misunderstandings, or it feels like softening from more of like a guarded, or sort of that they were taking an intellectual approach to this before, and there's a sense of they vetted this out according to kind of like regular standards, or what makes sense. And even if there are things about this situation or their feelings that like it doesn't make logical sense, the heart wants what the heart wants, and it feels like they are leaving no stone unturned as far as like what they need to do in order to move out of any kind of current rut that they're in, any stagnancy, anything that kind of keeps this truth bottled up inside, that they love you. They've fallen in love with you. It was love at first sight. It was something that has kind of altered the fabric of their reality in a very profound way. They can't shut down these feelings. These feelings continue to grow with time. The yearning and desire continues to grow with time. And it's a sense of, you are this godsend. You are this divine gift. You are the perfect reflection of everything that they have been looking for, hoping for, and yearning for in another person. So for a lot of you, this is like heart-to-heart conversation, a first step forward towards whatever is sort of given or offered. It feels like this person just has a world of love to offer. They have so much love that has just been residing inside of them, waiting for the moment when they would encounter you. Not someone like you, but you very specifically. It's almost like you are the owner of certain parts of their emotional landscape, that they just couldn't bring that forth. They didn't even know that it was possible to feel such things in the presence of even deep loves or great loves that they've had. And there's something that has awakened since they've crossed paths with you, which is like, my heart belongs to you. Our souls belong to one another. This circumstance, whatever might develop between the two of us, it's meant to be. And so it feels like they're not wanting to take like a passive approach to that or an observer stance anymore, but really wanting to take kind of active steps to let you know that you matter, to let you know that you're meaningful, to let you know that they are invested in this and are wanting to see this connection through to a deeper and more beautiful place between the two of you. So let's get some message cards and see what they want you to know from their higher self. And they say, I will respect you, I will honor you, I will cherish our love. Yeah, so this is somebody that is preparing themselves to take a next step towards you. And even if it's like they're having to confess that, they like you more than a friend, they've fallen in love with you, they want to take the relationship to the next level, even if you're at kind of like the opening stages of your connection, or the expression of feelings that have been kind of bubbling beneath the surface for quite some time, there's a sense that they're not placing limits as far as how far this connection will go. They're wanting to take the necessary steps to ground this into reality because they see you as their forever person. Okay, and they also say, I can't count the times I almost said what was on my mind. Yeah, so this is somebody who's been wanting to tell you how they feel for quite some time, wanting to make that confession, wanting to have that conversation about, I see a long-term future with you. I see you as my person. I see you as the one. They also say, I want to hold you in my arms so badly. Yeah, so this is that energy of like kissing and making up if you've been at a distance or there's been some silence with one another. This can also be the energy, though, of coming in closer, moving beyond just kind of pleasantries, any sort of cordial energy that exists between the two of you. And it's a sense of like, I don't just want to be like a casual in and out presence in your life. I want something consistent. I want us to entwine our lives with one another. They also say you cross my mind 1,000 times a day. So you may be picking up on this person's energy, feeling it around you very intensely at this time. And this is because they are very consciously, almost like right on the brink of saying something, right on the brink of making communication, responding to your last communication. Or if you're still kind of in regular contact with one another, this is the sense of like the pressure to express more or to let you in emotionally closer than they have up to this point in time, which you might be picking up energetically or psychically as well. They also say, do you know how divine you are? Do you know how amazing you are? Yeah, so they see you as this kind of eternal treasure, this divine gift, the one that was crafted specifically for them. You fit the mold of everything they have been looking for in a person, and you even possess qualities that they didn't know could exist within one person that fit them so well. This is almost somebody who feels challenged and inspired by you, and it's a sense of almost like in the time that they've gotten to know you or that you've been in one another's lives, even if there's been points where they sort of resisted these feelings or resisted this connection, it's almost like they've been reshaped into a more authentic or better version of themselves just by default of like, you are somebody in my life. And so they're seeing that as a very necessary thing for like their well-being in general, and definitely seeing as like the connection between the two of you, something it's worth their while to invest in. They also say you've been in my dreams. Yeah, so that's that energy of like you are their dream person. You're their dream come true. A lot of that energy of like very consciously in a 3D sense, thinking about you, thinking about what to say, kind of scripting out the various scenarios of how things will play out, really envisioning or even like consciously or unconsciously sort of manifesting a future with you. All of that can be translated to you at this point. It feels like in the etheric realm, in the astral realm, they're like making contact with you through that sort of like fine filament of the higher self energy as like a prelude for what they're wanting to present or to kind of initiate between the two of you in a material 3D sense. I also say, I vow to love you the best I can. Yeah, so again, this is somebody that may be getting ready to propose. Even if they're asking you out on like a date for the first time, they're already thinking, 10 steps ahead of like, okay, maybe this first date could be the last first date either of us ever goes on. And it's, from here, and then eventually we're at the altar with one another exchanging vows, and we're living our lives together. This is somebody who wants forever with you. They don't just want something temporary. And they also say you and I are past due. It's time that we fix that. Yeah, so they've been thinking about taking things to the next level with you for quite some time. And it's a sense of like, I can't hold back any longer. I can't keep this truth stuffed deep down inside. It doesn't feel right to like withhold this from you or to keep you at a distance from my life, from my heart, from building that kind of dream reality that I envision with you. And they also say, you are my answered prayer. Yeah, so there's a sense of this might be somebody who had almost given up on the idea of love or like deep soul level partnership, the idea of like a soulmate. They could have been somebody that thought, well, I'll just have to settle. I'll just have to settle for, somebody, or maybe I'll just end up being alone for the rest of my life. They might have felt very unlucky in love or just kind of discouraged within their circumstances. And it's like you've renewed them. You've renewed their hope or belief that love can be beautiful, that love is real, that there is a person out there for them. So let's get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got K, J, B, L, G, H, G, D, W, N, I, S, N, F, L, Z, Q, A, I, R, Y, and S. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. It shows this crystal. So let's see, what are the true feelings and hidden desires of the person on your mind towards you at this time? Okay, so we have Lourdes Grotto, Sanctuary, create an inner haven of peace. So there's a sense that this person desires to see your hidden side. This is a sense that they like what you've presented to them so far, but there's almost a sense of like, who are you when you soften into love? Who are you when you feel safe enough to let your guard down? Which they understand is kind of a mechanism that might activate, not when there's pressure put upon you, but when they themselves make certain adjustments to their approach, to their temperament, to their energy in a very authentic way that just instinctually or naturally brings out another side of yourself that they might have gotten glimpses or glimmers of that has piqued their curiosity, but it's only just been kind of like a fleeting moment. There's a sense that they feel there's a lot more than meets the eye to you, and it has tantalized them. You've like whetted this person's appetite as far as like, I want to get to know you better, not just like surface level details and your personal history or like dreams and goals for the future, but I want to experience different facets, a different side of you that might not be ordinarily shown. This is a sense of somebody that feels an impulse to like earn your trust, not to take advantage of that, but there's a sense of like, there's a treasure inside of you, and whoever it is that kind of cracks through the shell, cracks through the exterior and is able to access kind of that richness inside of you, that's the luckiest person in the world. So it's a sense of almost like they feel a lot of responsibility as well to kind of protect you and sort of this connection and whatever it is that you kind of reveal to them or show to them. There's a sense of they feel very honored in the ways in which you've opened up so far, and there's a desire to kind of help to encourage you to recognize them as like a safe person or a safe space to continue along that path. And we also have Temple of Anuket, thrive. I see golden opportunities. So there's a sense of really wanting to help you reach certain goals, certain aspirations, a certain degree of like raw potential that they see or sense within you, or something that you've like described to them or that they're aware that you're like working on or trying to bring about into fruition. And there's a sense of like, I want to help you in any way that I can. If there's a lot of kind of heavy lifting, uphill climbs, internal or external battles you're having to fight to kind of manifest a life of abundance, or again, like bring some kind of dream into a reality, then there's a sense that this person, they desire to be like that soft landing place, the place where you don't have to perform, you don't have to put on masks, you don't have to hide who you are. They want you on like good days and bad days. There's a sense of it's a desire to kind of understand more of who you are when you don't feel so pressured to kind of conform to ideas that have been imposed upon you as far as like who the world expects you to be. Maybe you have a hard time kind of decompressing or sort of shutting off from like a role you have to play in life and reality. This could have to do with like school. This could have to do with like job, career, dreams that you're trying to build, like go-getter sort of energy. And there's a sense of that their big desire is to help you to kind of take off that armor, help you to sort of ease into a place where you're just very present in the moment. They want to help you to kind of explore loving yourself in the form of allowing them to kind of pour into you as well, to help ease that burden, help you feel that you're not alone, or that they're here as like a co-creator in whatever way that can be accomplished. Investing in you in a variety of ways that could be subtle or overt, so that you feel encouraged to continue to kind of move forward through a period of difficulty or along like an arduous path that they're recognizing or even just sensing inside that you've committed yourself to, or kind of are working towards. And they're not wanting to be like a bother or a hindrance, but they're really wanting to be like an associate or like a co-creator in that with you. And we also have, okay, Goddess Anukit again, detachment, I choose me. So this person's desire as well is for you to feel safe, to prioritize yourself. They don't want you to lose yourself in this connection. They want you to put your foot down with them. Give them some tough love if they're overstepping any boundaries. This is somebody that doesn't want to encroach on your personal space. They don't want you to feel that you need to make sacrifices in order to kind of have this love be brought into a place of reality. This is somebody that, if there are things that need to be kind of put aside or altered in some sort of way in order to, maybe accommodate time, or this could be a circumstance where this is like a long distance connection and, that's been an issue between the two of you. And so it's like, okay, who's going to pick up and move? Who's going to uproot themselves, in order to kind of close that distance between the two of us? There's a sense of not wanting you to feel like pressure to just abandon your whole life in the interest of, well, if I don't do that, I'm going to lose this person. There's a sense of, fight for what matters for you. Hold your ground. Hold yourself to a high standard so that it gives this person the opportunity and challenge to rise to the occasion of finding a way to create a space as well within their life for your goals, for your dreams. Something as well that kind of like, again, a sense of, I don't want you to compare me almost to other partners or other people that you've had in your life that require you to kind of be there for them in a particular way in order to feel lovable. I want you to feel safe being yourself and understanding that even if we don't agree all the time, even if there's challenges or opposition between the two of us, I want to continue to love you. I want to continue to like find a way to fight for this. I want you to sort of lose the idea that you're going to lose me by choosing you. We also have do not fear the unknown. So again, there's a sense that this person is like deeply tantalized by a version of you, either something that they haven't seen yet or something that they're realizing kind of comes with the territory of something you're working towards, something that you're building towards, a goal, a dream, a lifestyle, a particular career, something that it's almost like will naturally kind of bring out a different version of yourself. They're very excited to see what that is. But then there's also kind of the sense of like, okay, I know I need to make adjustments too, so I'm not just left in the dust. I want to be able to keep up with kind of the excitement that you're creating or who you're blossoming into. There's a sense of kind of anything where there's been a need to sort of like take space, or you've been very busy or very like absorbed in certain things, and it's been kind of confusion, like, well, where does this connection stand? How does this factor into my future? Or something where it's like you've needed to already kind of exercise that tough love and just choose yourself. The hidden kind of energy here is that might have hurt this person on an ego level. They might have felt kind of slighted or jilted even, but there's a sense that they're not discouraged. If you're in a kind of a period of you're not talking right now, or there's been some tension, overt or like unspoken between the two of you, there's a sense of almost like, wanting to find some way to convey to you, not to like fear that you're losing them, or that a choice, like to choose yourself, or choose like a particular path that really matters to you, that's meaningful to you, that has been totally at the expense of this connection, that it's like all or nothing. It's almost like give this person a chance to make certain adjustments so that they can rise to the occasion, and kind of continue to follow with you, continue to be that companion with you in this next kind of phase of your reality. Because there's a sense of they don't just want to be like a spectator in your life. They don't want to be left behind, even if they've had to kind of step aside for a second. There's a sense of almost like, I want to come back into this. I want to step up and kind of be what you need me to be from this point forward. So they may even be kind of like observing you, sort of, watching and seeing, all right, where are you at in your metamorphosis? What is happening now? What is this version of you that is coming to the surface after you've had to like leave something behind, or you've made a conscious choice to pour more of yourself, very assertively or even aggressively, towards certain things that matter, that the connection might have been sort of a challenge to in the past. There's a sense of almost like, the story isn't over between the two of us, or I'm not just kind of leave things as they are. I want to make some changes. I want to evolve. I want to develop as a person as well, so that when I reinsert myself into this story, it's a match. There's equality between the two of us. They also say, see the truth. So this is somebody that sees you as a person that holds a lot of wisdom. You know yourself. You're almost guided by like a higher calling or some kind of purpose. They may have encountered ambitious people before, but you feel very purpose driven. And that might be something where you're still in the process of like exploring your purpose, finding your purpose, forging a very unique path for yourself. And they see you as somebody who is very grounded. You have sound judgment. You know yourself, you know your intuition, you know the signs and synchronicities that lead you in the direction of like your highest good, or you're choosing that very consciously, actively, and obviously at this point. And it's really inspiring this person to do the same for themselves. But there's a sense of like, I don't want to miss out on an opportunity with you. I don't want to lose you or lose us because, pride and ego might be making it difficult for me to kind of step outside of my comfort zone, to make certain adjustments as necessary. They might have gotten some kind of pushback from their ego that has caused them to kind of just stay still, remain in place while you've spread your wings and you've taken flight in some sort of new direction. And so there's a sense of almost like, I want to catch up. This isn't the energy of like, wait for me. It's like, I'll catch up. You keep doing you. Don't be concerned with like what I'm doing. Don't look back. Don't feel the need to kind of like hold space or put your life on hold. I want you to continue to answer that call, to follow that compulsion that you have for yourself, and trust that, I see you as somebody that factors into my well-being, our connection, the time spent together, the experience that we've cultivated so far. It's been good. It's been enriching. I want more of that. I want the next chapter. I want the next level. I want something more in this situation. And so it may require them kind of taking an inventory of their life at this point. What can stay? What needs to go? What do they need to evolve beyond, in order to kind of rise to that comparable frequency with you? We also have a new day dawns. So this again is the idea of like, they want something more. They want to revisit this. They want to learn and experience a different version of you that is maybe still in the process of being created behind the scenes. You're making changes in your life in an outward sense, and it's changing the interior of who you are, how you're kind of pressing yourself forth into the world or into loving relationships. And it's a sense of like, I want to be a part of that. I don't just want to be a relic of your past. I want to be relevant in your future. So if you're in like a no contact with one another, there's been a disconnect, this can also be the energies of reconciliation. I want a fresh start. I want to come back into your reality, not to kind of drag you back down into outdated cycles, which you have clearly evolved beyond. You've shed that skin, but there's a sense of almost like, I want to revisit this connection and reconnect with you in this elevated stance as like a different version of myself. also have the courage to be free. Know that freedom begins where desire ends. So this again is somebody's desire not to hold you back, not to tie you down, not to make you feel that there's a choice between like them and something else that is kind of calling you forth into the wider world. Even if you have like a calling or something you're working towards that might be almost like diametrically opposed to kind of how this person lives their life, what they're involved with, something that might be like, okay, I'm called off in this direction and you're standing still in place. You're rooted here. You're grounded here. How is this going to work? Something where there may have been like distance that needed to happen. Somebody may have needed to move away, like physically move away, or there's kind of the option for that, or, career paths that are very different. Somebody that might have to kind of stay very local with their situation versus the other person may involve a lot of travel, a lot of time where there's kind of like, okay, we're going to have to be dealing with each other remotely or virtually at these periods of time that may have put stress and pressure on the idea of, is there a future in this connection? Is there the ability to kind of see this through that challenge period? Or the challenges that may present themselves in the future. And so there's a sense of this person doesn't want you to give up on your dreams, or kind of count them out totally. If you've already chosen those dreams and it's like, well, I need to kind of go forth with my fulfillment in this lifetime, and if this connection can't find a place within sort of that reality, that I have to choose me. There's a sense of give this person the opportunity to sort of find a way forward, find a way within themselves to reconcile even the idea of like clinging to you, or limits that have been placed upon the situation, because they find you to be very radiant when you are living in alignment with your purpose. They don't want to be the person that holds you back, or makes you feel further down the road that you missed out on certain opportunities on account of them, or things that needed to be kind of discarded in order to prioritize or choose this connection. We also have the deepest desires constrain you, let them go, to clear your mind. So this person wants to give you some kind of peace of mind, either like a peace offering, a confirmation that although there may be kind of difficulties at this time between the two of you, or something that is almost like transitional, or you're in like an in-between phase, that they still are thinking of you, they still love you, they still adore you, they still want to try and work things out, or work towards kind of an amicable resolution to whatever sort of the cause of disconnect was, the cause of uncertainty. They want to put your mind at rest, and let you know that even if you're in a challenge period with one another at this point, they still believe in this connection. They still believe that this love can overcome the obstacles that are currently faced. And this is somebody that wants to invest in you in a long-term sense. We also have protect what you love. It is your duty and responsibility. Yeah, so this is somebody that feels fiercely protective over this connection. Even if there's a distance at this particular point in time, it's almost like you're mine and I'm yours. We belong to one another, and this is not up for debate. This is not something which is the subject of questioning. It is just a matter of finding a way at this particular point in time beyond our very kind of human reservations, sort of the idea of I want what I want right now. I want it close to me. I want it to fit in with my idea of how the world should operate. And the fact that you are two different individuals, and any sort of mismatch between those ideas that might have caused sort of a disconnect between the two of you, there's a sense of this person wanting you to know that they're not thwarted by that. They're very aware of kind of what's happening at this point, and are almost trying to chisel away at some degree of resistance inside of themselves, in order to kind of yield to a space of flexibility, sort of working towards that dream reality with the understanding that both of your individual dreams matter just as much as well. This could also be somebody who's trying to build things up as far as their career and finance to be able to offer you something more, to be able to kind of bridge that gap, or if you're having to travel to see one another, to sort of accommodate that as well. Because they're not wanting to lose this. They're not wanting to lose out on you, or the opportunity to have a future with you. So let's get some message cards from their higher self and see what they want you to know right now. Okay, and we have let's start over. Yeah, so this is the energy of somebody that wants to reconnect. They want to try to renew this connection, forge a bond between the two of you from this point forward that is stronger, that is appreciative of aspects of yourself that they realize exist beyond kind of the portrayal that you have presented so far, or who you have been up to this point in time. If you've been going through a period of change, transformation, shape shifting, it's almost like they want to get to know that new version of you. Who are you now? Who are you becoming? Who are you trying to build yourself into? They also say, I surrender my heart to you. So yeah, this is somebody who is deeply in love with you. They're quietly in love with you. This is like a slow burn kind of situation where even if there's been kind of change that has occurred, pressure that has happened, a period where almost like the ease and vitality of the situation has been dimmed or seemingly sort of extinguished altogether, they still carry the flame of hope inside of them, that it's not too late, that there's something more in this circumstance that can happen between the two of you, because you hold a very special place within their heart. We also have, I imagine what you would look like walking down the aisle. Yeah, so this is somebody that sees forever with you. You make sense for them, even if the circumstances right now are a challenge. It's like, I will find a way to make it make sense. I will find a way to adjust my mind, my perceptions, my expectations, so that we are building through the unknown, so that we are moving beyond challenges rather than kind of just giving up because times are tough. This is somebody that wants to be there for you in good and bad times. They also say, I like you. I hope you feel the same way about me. So they really love every version of you that they have encountered so far. You have changed this person's perspective about life, about love, about the way that connection can be. They too have been reshaped in the process of being in a connection with you in ways that have been challenging and ways that have been very freeing. And so there's a sense of almost like, I want to keep exploring with you. I want to keep seeing what more can develop, who we can discover ourselves to be, or can support each other in the process of becoming. They also say, you cross my mind 1,000 times a day. So this is the energy of somebody who's missing you. They're very nostalgic of times that maybe the earlier phases of your connection, or when things are good, if you've kind of hit a rough patch at this particular point in time, they may be considering reaching out and kind of some sort of peace offering, some sort of olive branch, something that puts your mind at ease, that you are still on their mind, you are still in their heart. They still think so highly of you. They also say your love is like honey, so there's a medicinal quality to the experience of you. This is somebody who feels like you are their heaven on earth. You are everything that they need and want in another person, and there's a sense of, yeah, their life could go on without you, and they would sort of live each moment to the fullest, but there's a sense of you just add so much more. You are a person of substance. This love is substantial enough that it's worth the wait. It's worth whatever kind of like deep dive is necessary, or adjustments are necessary in their life, in your life, in order to be able to kind of savor more. Like, they're not wanting this to be it. They can't get enough of you, or they're not done with this connection. Even if it might seem that way from the surface, there's a sense of like, I want to experience more of this. I want to go deeper with you. I want that sweetness back. They also say, I've been lying to myself about my feelings. Why? Maybe because I was scared. So the intensity and nature of what could have been required at some point, either keeping an open mind or making certain adjustments in their reality to the idea of like what a forever kind of partnership would be like, how that would play out, what the details would be like, that could have caused this person to fumble this connection, to take a step back, or, to say, well, maybe we're just too different. These challenges are too much. It's too difficult. Maybe we should just go our separate ways. And if that's been the case, it's like they have a lot of regret. They want to pick up where you left off. They want to renew this situation. They want to help you see that they are here for you, whether, things are ideal or things are challenging. They also say, it's something about the way you stare into my eyes. So this person feels very vulnerable in your presence. Like, they can't hide who they truly are. This is somebody who could get almost both lost and found within your eyes. You see them as a soul. You read who this person is. You see past their flaws. You see past their mistakes. You lead them to a place within that might have been a challenge for them to even find on their own, where they see this pure and unconditional and just infinite level of love radiating out from your eyes, and it's taken them time to realize that's their own reflection that exists within them. You are mirroring that to them. And so this could have been something that has been a challenge in the past, like, I don't love myself that much. How can you look at me that way, when I can't even look myself in the mirror in that capacity? And so that might have been something that there was almost like they didn't feel they could live up to your expectations, or things that needed to take place or that you were working towards, it might have made them feel like not good enough, or like, how do we have a place in one another's future, where they could have pushed this connection away or let you go. And there's a sense of like, I made a mistake, I was wrong. I've come to a level of recognizing that for all the self-love I lack, you could be that teacher that shows me how to reach that. Just by looking in your eyes, I find my way back to myself more profoundly. I also say I'm still healing. There's so much that I'm going through and have gone through. So if you're in a period of silence or disconnect, there's a lot of regret as far as that's concerned. They're not wanting to burden you with their problems or issues at this point, because they may see or sense or know that you're under a lot of pressure in your own life as well. So if things are kind of quiet at this point, it's almost like they're suffering in silence, but it feels like this person won't stay silent for long. They want to present themselves to you. They want to help you to understand that they are here for you no matter what. Even if they're going through challenges, they will do their best to kind of remain a constant presence, even if that's just energetic for you. So let's get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We have N, I, N, J, Y, W, V, C, B, G, C, L, E, B, D, P, and Q. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose this crystal. So let's see, what are the true feelings and hidden desires of the person on your mind towards you at this time? Okay, we have a wonderful surprise is coming. Something entirely new awaits you. So this is the energy of somebody who didn't even see you coming, and you've rocked their world in an amazing way. You are the best surprise of their life. You are somebody who has given them a renewed sense of almost purpose emotionally, or kind of like they see you as a challenge in some sort of way. How can I get in closer? How can I earn this person's trust? How can I get to know them deeper? There's a sense of almost stealthy kind of energy that they're using at this particular point in time, maybe playing their cards very close to the chest, because there's a sense of almost like I want to make the moment special and meaningful. I want to outshine every lover you have ever had before. I want to show you the romance of a lifetime. I want something to blossom between the two of us that defies your expectations of what is possible in life, what is possible in love. There's a sense that they see that with you, love could be both an adventure and a safe space. And this can also be somebody that's like, if they play very nonchalant with you, they could be like watching you from afar, like they're your biggest fan almost. They're really supporting this version of you, what you've got going on in your life, who you are as an individual. It's a sense of like, oh, where have you been my whole life? I've been looking for someone like you. I didn't even know someone like you could exist. This could also be somebody from your past that you kind of parted ways from, not an ex, but almost kind of like untapped potential or something where it was like right person, wrong time previously, and they've come across you again, they've encountered you again, and it's like, wow, it's like night and day. You're an entirely different person in the best possible way. And so this is somebody that's like very excited about you, very excited to see what develops between the two of you, excited to get to know you again, or the more that they are seeing or that they're coming to understand. It's almost like, I didn't know that you had this in you in the best possible way. You have become their dream person. If you weren't before, there's almost a sense of like, this version of you, this is right. This is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been waiting for. And we also have flames of desire. Let them shine out and in radiant light and shun dark paths. So this can be the energy of like a soulmate or a twin flame. This person may think of you as their twin flame or their soulmate. You have sparked a desire within them that is unquenched. If they had options before, it's almost like those options don't matter anymore. They only have eyes for you. They're very exclusively focused on you. There's a competitiveness to this as well. They may almost be seeing if there are other suitors on the horizon, kind of like keeping tabs on you in some sort of way that's not like creepy, but it's just sort of checking out the surroundings, checking out people that may be giving you attention, sort of like, okay, is this a friend or is there something more than a friend? They may just be seeing you, who you are as a person, the energy that you radiate out, your level of attractiveness or the confidence that you move through the world with. And there's a sense of almost anticipating, even if they're not able to pinpoint who it is or kind of where the attention is coming from, but almost like certainly somebody like you would have other suitors. There'd be other people that have like got their eye on you or are interested, or if they're not in your energy or in your life at this point, certainly they would be along very shortly. It's just a matter of time before somebody snatches you up and kind of makes this a connection. And so there's a sense of like, they don't want to miss out on that opportunity. They want to be the winning person. They want to be the champion. They want to be the one that is standing next to you as kind of your eternal flame. We also have lost in the ruins of the past. Find the way to the present moment and live. So there's a sense that you have awakened a renewed kind of almost like competitiveness, or this is somebody that's like on the hunt. They're on your trail. They're moving towards you, kind of lurking in the shadows, but not just wanting to be an observer. This is somebody that wants to make up for lost time. If it was somebody from your past that has caught sight of you again, this can also be somebody that is actively and aggressively shutting the doors to any circumstances they had kept open in terms of like past relationships, or they're like, well, maybe I'll work it out with my ex, or anything that they'd avoided as far as like wounding was concerned, and pain and hurt and heartbreak. There's a sense of like reopening those old wounds in order to create closure for themselves. This can be deleting and blocking numbers, closing out kind of those open channels and portals, even just emotionally within themselves, facing their fears, facing those shadows in order to be able to step forth very presently into the here and now with everything that they have to give, all of their resources, emotionally and otherwise, at the forefront of what they can present forth. This is somebody that wants to make grand gestures or big efforts towards you, and that may even just be in the sense of like conscious shadow work at this point, not to, you know, try and create some sort of illusion for you, but so that you are able to understand that this is somebody who is very generous as a lover. This is a giver. This is somebody that sees you as a person that is the kind of person that they want to build a life with. You are worthy of their time and affection. You are worthy of their undivided attention. You are the person that has kind of caught their attention in a way that may have never happened before or hasn't happened in quite some time. This person could be reflecting on like a past situation, something from like their long buried past, even of like a missed opportunity, the one that got away, something like that. And there's a sense of a connection or a relationship or a circumstance that they never got over that kind of like changed the trajectory of their life emotionally, for better or worse up to this point in time. It might have closed them off, made them very pessimistic as far as love, or there's a sense of like they found out what they had once it was gone. And there's a sense that with you, there's almost like an ability to have a do-over in some sort of way. Like they no longer need to kind of move through life just kind of hanging on to that regret. They don't need to make the same mistakes in this circumstance as they did in past situations. And so it's almost somebody that's like taking their pain or their mistakes, anything they've held inside that like doesn't serve a bright and beautiful future between the two of you that they'd like to create. And it's almost like, I'm going to alchemize that into wisdom. I'm going to release that pain. I'm going to release that idea of sort of the greatest love ever came and went, and here I am all alone. You know, there's a sense of kind of getting rid of that, canceling the pity party and moving instead into kind of this this energy of they are enthusiastic, they are driven, they're very optimistic as far as like what they have to give, what they have to offer, what can be created at this point moving forward between the two of you, because there's a sense of almost like you've renewed some sort of hope that they can be lucky in love. The light of love has visited them again. That all those circumstances, or even kind of one thing in particular that had really done a number on them, there's almost a sense of like maybe that needed to fall apart in order to put me in a place where I was so self-focused that I wasn't just giving my energy away. I wasn't just giving my heart away frivolously. I learned to love myself, and as a result of that, I now have the eyes, I have developed the senses inside of myself to see that potential to build a higher level love with another person in the form of you. So it's almost like they're forgiving their past. They're letting that go. They're closing up those wounds, releasing all of that emotional baggage, in a sense, kind of like becoming a better person, making, you know, preparations in order to ready themselves to offer you something more, to communicate something more, to go forth into this connection in a deeper or more substantial way. We also have reveal your truth. Yeah, so this is somebody that wants to confess some hidden feelings. They want to show you a side of themselves that might be very surprising. The hidden face of this person could be like a deep romantic. This could be a very sentimental person. They may kind of put off like a hard exterior, but there's a softness inside of them that they guard very fiercely. This is somebody that protects their heart. They have a lot of walls up, a lot of armor up around themselves, where it might even be kind of like you're asking about this person, like their hidden thoughts and feelings, and it may really surprise you what they reveal. This could be somebody that is very, you know, just kind of brief in their expressions of love. You may sort of tell yourself, you know, that loving affirmations are not their love language, and it feels it's quite the opposite. This person could be a poet beneath the surface. This could be somebody who, you know, has a deep capacity for tenderness and emotions. They could be an empath even, that has had to learn to kind of put up this fence around themselves in order to not get kind of overwhelmed, or to preserve and protect kind of, you know, the tenderness that exists within them as a result, and in the aftermath of kind of what life or other experiences in love have done to them. And there's a sense of like, I want to open that gate and let you in. I want to take down that fence and let you experience kind of the full spectrum of who I am, a part of me that does not come out easily. I do not show it to the world, maybe based on kind of like who they are, how they live their life, what they do as a profession, their public appearance. It's like that might not fit in with that in some sort of way. And so as you are aware of them at this point, the character that they've been playing could be very different from the reality of this person behind closed doors. And so there's a sense of like, I want to show you that generosity of love. You feel like somebody that my heart would be safe with. Okay, we have nourish the soul. Yeah, so this is somebody that sees you as their soulmate. They see you as somebody that has been perfectly timed in your arrival in their reality. You have caught them by surprise, but in the best possible way. They have been ignited by you. Something in your eye contact, there may have almost like been a spark or something very deep and intense, almost like a sense of deja vu that they had when they first encountered you, that could have been very quickly they recovered from that, or like put up that mask where you would have just said, yeah, that was an important meeting. I remember meeting that person, or maybe it has kind of just passed by your awareness, but it made an impression upon them. That first moment of eye contact, the first time you shook hands, the first words that were exchanged between the two of you. This is something that has fascinated them maybe for quite some time, or they've not been able to kind of forget that. If this is somebody like from your past circling back around, and now they see that there's a window of opportunity, there's the ability for them to kind of pounce forth, present themselves, sort of put their name in the hat as far as like who you will choose to be the lover that stands beside you. Or if this is somebody new that's in your world and in your reality, it's almost like they're playing it cool, but those emotions run deep. There's like an animal urge, an animal instinct that you've kind of awakened within this person, where they are not just wanting to have something temporary. They're not just looking at you like a conquest either, with this sort of like competitive energy, or somebody that's on the hunt. They're not just looking for a trophy. They're looking for somebody that is a soul companion, that is a soul mate, and they are recognizing that within you, not just in kind of like who you are as a person, but this is somebody who's very much in touch with their soul. They're very much in touch with their higher self. That might surprise you as well. This could be a very like spiritual person, and they might not present that on the surface, but this is somebody who knows their intuition. They may have prayed about this situation, asked for signs and synchronicities. They're seeking higher guidance, or they're listening to that higher guidance as far as how to move in this circumstance, and they've set their sights on you, and it's almost like nothing will dissuade them from that. We also have be vigilant. Yeah, so this is definitely somebody that has eyes on you. They're watching from afar. Any interactions you have with one another, it feels like they're picking that apart behind the scenes after you part ways with one another. They're reading between the lines. They're taking in cues as far as your body language, your tone, your inflection. Again, kind of like surveying your environment, looking at your social media, anything they're able to observe about you in kind of your natural environment. As you're going about the world, sort of like, how are you with different people? Who's giving you attention? Is there any competition? What do they need to know as far as your openness or your availability to the brand of love that they have to give, which it feels like is almost like a very sort of old-fashioned or classical, like a storybook romance. They have that capacity inside of them that may be quite a surprise from somebody that could present as just very practical, very sort of quiet, or sort of reserved, that it's almost like there's a very sort of emotionally fluid part of this person that they are wanting to present to you, feeling that aspect of them that they may construe as like their vulnerability, that is kind of their soft place, is the idea of like emotions, but there's a sense of almost like, you are worthwhile, this spark, this connection, it's worth the risk that I will have to take in order to let you into kind of that sanctuary, that softness inside of me. We also have Red Terra, Revolution. I am a fierce warrior of love. So they see you as the embodiment of love. You radiate love. You exude love. Everything about you is love. You have redefined their ideas of what that would mean in general and for them as a person. There's a sense of almost just, they want to build from the ground up with you an entirely different type of love story than you've known before. So this may be somebody who's getting ready to almost like ask a lot of questions that may come in the form, may sound like an interrogation almost, but it's not because they're trying to like gather information to use against you. It's almost like, I want to learn about you. I want to learn the ways in which people failed to meet your needs on an emotional level. I want to learn the names of all your scars so I can find ways in order to transcend that, in order to help erase any pain that you hold inside, and to let you know and to prove to you that you are worthy as you are and have always been worthy. Even before I knew you, I can say that you have been worthy of a life-changing type of love, a love that never makes you question your value, never makes you second guess yourself. We also have Mother Ganga's liberation. I honor my sacred temple. So you make this person feel very compelled to sort of release the tough guy or the tough girl mask that they put on for the world. There's a sense of, you bring them back to a memory of what it was like to love without the fear of being hurt. Experiences with you, time spent in your company, or even just basking in the radiance of your energy, it has healing properties for them. Work that they have consciously been doing to kind of close out situationships, tie up loose ends in their life, sort of clear out those channels of communication that they may have kept open for like previous people, kind of as just like a what if, like keeping the door open a crack, keeping like a glimmer of hope alive for previous circumstances to perhaps resurrect. It's almost a sense of, they're wanting to invest totally in you as like a gift or an offering of like, I have no baggage from the past. I've released all of that. There's nobody that you need to fear will come back around and try to compete for my affection, try to compete for my love. I don't have contact with my exes. I don't kind of have anybody on the side. I don't want to make you feel like an option, or like I don't see you as this perfect treasure that is here now in the world, for me, for us to develop something with one another. And we also have Blue Terra, preservation. I overcome all obstacles. So this is somebody that is definitely very motivated to fight for your heart, to best any other suitors that may be out there, to kind of proclaim themselves, claim their place in your life. This could be a very territorial person that is almost getting jealous of the idea of you being with somebody else, which it feels like you're probably not in like an actual connection with this person at this point, but that indicator, because they might be somebody that, even if they have like a jealous nature, they've taken steps to kind of like rein that in, or they're aware of it. They've worked on self-mastery. And so the fact that it's coming to the surface with you, or maybe that's not even in their character, and so this is a totally unknown for them. Why do I feel so jealous? Why do I feel so territorial? That's not me. We're not even in a relationship. What is this about? They're listening to that as kind of like an indicator that this matters. This is meaningful. This is worth the while to take steps necessary in order to put themselves in a position where they have the right to have an opinion about other people giving you attention, or who you spend your time with, who you're talking to, or even just an open availability. They're wanting to take you off the market. They're wanting to experience a relationship with you. They're wanting to become a significant player in your life. So let's get some messages from their higher self and see what they want you to know right now. Okay, and we have, this connection scares me sometimes because it's so intense. So you've definitely shaken this person awake, a spark of connection. The first time you met, the first time you interacted, they've not been able to forget that. They've not been able to move beyond that in a certain way. It has compelled them to this point of like, I got to do something. I got to take action. I have to know, I have to experience what more can happen in this situation. Or if this is somebody where, it's still kind of, they're not like circling around from the past, but it's somebody that's in your life in some capacity at this point. There's almost a sense of like feeling that they could take the plunge with you and experience love in an entirely different way. This could be somebody that is a strategist by nature. It's kind of like they have to have all the ins and outs figured out. They look at things from many different angles. They plan things 10 miles down the road. When they act, they already have the next 10 moves planned out. And there's a sense of needing to sort of just free themselves from an element of control when it comes to you, when it comes to the way in which this affects them emotionally, as far as like, there can be plans, there can be intentions, but then there's this whole element of the unknown. There's the force of nature of love, which is kind of pulling them into this place of rising into the occasion of love, rather than kind of controlling the specifics of how that will look. They also say, I want to be the reason you smile. So they want to bring a lot of joy into your life. They want to reciprocate all of this kind of warm and fuzzy feelings that you've created inside of them up to this point in time. They're very inspired by the way you live your life. They may see you as a very compassionate person, a very loving person. Like even on tough days, you make a point to kind of shine as brightly as you can and to try to make the world around you a better place. So that can again indicate they've been like observing you, just kind of moving in your element, ways you might not even know that they're watching, and they see you as the true article. You're the genuine article. You're the real thing. You're a deeply authentic person, and this moves them emotionally. It moves them away from kind of any performance they've had to put on, or any sort of like tough facade that is required based on like the nature of the life that they've built for themselves, or even previous experiences. There's almost a sense of like, you feel like someone that makes them safe to be vulnerable. They also say, I'm ready to take you out on a romantic date. Yeah, so this is somebody who's getting ready to ask you out, getting ready to have like a deeper conversation, express feelings, wanting to take things to the next level, wanting some one-on-one time, some alone time, personal time with you. They also say you are a gem that shines in the night. So they only have eyes for you. They don't, if they had other options when they met you, they've shut those options down, or they're in the process of wrapping all that up. And it feels like they will hold back some kind of an offer to take things to the next level until they've really tied up all the loose ends, so that there's nobody that kind of could interfere in this. There's nothing that could burden you in any sort of sense, as far as like if you are wanting to invest with this person and take things further, where there's any sort of decision that would need to be made. It's almost like they've made the decision, and that is you. And so they're doing their part behind the scenes to make sure that energetically and actually all other kind of interferences are cleared out. They also say we need some time together. Yeah, so that's that energy of like wanting to take you out on a date, wanting to get to know you more, wanting to experience you in a different environment than they have up to this point. Like if they're just watching from afar, or maybe you've just like reconnected with one another online, for example, it's like, I want to have a more direct chat. I want to have a phone call. I want to FaceTime you. I want to get together in person if that's possible. If this is somebody in your direct reality and maybe you've already been dating, it's almost like, and kind of getting to know one another. It's like wanting to have a different kind of date, maybe even like a very lavish romantic date that this person may plan, or something that's very like sweet and sentimental, that takes into consideration something you've mentioned, something that you've let them know, or that they know is like important, or brings a smile to your face, that when they sort of present that, when they bring that forth, it might help you to see them as like, wow, this is a really romantic person. They're thoughtful, they're caring. And they also say, you deserve the world, honey. So this is not just somebody that's coming in to kind of like take down the walls around your heart, earn your trust, in order to sort of have a good time and then run the other way. This is somebody who's looking for long term. They're looking to build that happily ever after with you. They also say, my mind and heart always comes back to you. So yeah, again, this is somebody that only has eyes for you. If they had other options before, they are not interested in other options. This may be somebody that gets a lot of attention, and there's a sense of also needing to factor in some sort of way, so that you don't feel threatened, you don't feel jealous, you don't feel like you're competing with other people. It feels like this is like a loyal person. They're interested in monogamy. They're interested in exclusivity. They also say, I vow to love you the best I can. So yeah, this is somebody that wants to present their most authentic self, their hidden self to you, a romantic self to you. They want to make you feel very cherished in a way that previous partners failed to do. They also say, I feel you in my heart. So this is a soul-to-soul connection. This is a soulmate. This is like your twin flame, or maybe your true twin flame. If you've kind of run the gamut of potential twin flames, it's like this could be the real one, the actual person that fits that criteria for you. It's a sense that you have ignited something within this person that is very unforgettable, something where they will stop at nothing almost to experience something more, to move in closer, to dip into this potential between the two of you, and to let you see behind that mask, behind that wall, into the true version of themselves. So let's get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got K, S, O, T, C, S, W, E, B, E, U, L, W, N, T, F, Y, P, and A. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.